William James, Charles Peirce, and John Dewey were 19th and 20th century philosophers who coined the term pragmatism. This turned into a movement which claimed that if something works for you, then it should be accepted as true. If it is practical and has utility, then it is good and meaningful. If it isn't practical and doesn't help you out, then it should be discarded. Since it was introduced, this philosophy has influenced science, politics, law, education, business, medicine, psychology, morality, and many other aspects of society. Is it a virtue? It can be, but it can also be a vice. Let's figure out how to make sure we use it in ways that are virtuous. Here's my definition of pragmatism. If you're pragmatic, as you strategically work towards your goals, you look closely at the relationship between the means and the ends, trying to anticipate the practical results of your actions. If it isn't practical, sensible, or useful, then you don't do it. Sounds pretty good, especially if we have problems that need to be solved. So let's look at some ways we can go about obtaining it and using it to help us reach our goals. First, identify your truths. Is truth relative, which means that what works for you may be different than that which works for me? Or are there eternal truths that do not change over time? What if there is a conflict between the two? What if your truth isn't acceptable to your social groups? These are tough questions, to be sure, but in my opinion, the safe bet is to pick out the truths that lead you to virtuous behaviors. Next, investigate things yourself. Pragmatists are generally experimenters and empiricists. Beliefs are adopted on a provisional basis, after evaluating the available evidence. If we want to understand the meaning of any belief, we simply look at the habits it inspires. Next, make tough decisions. Sometimes making the pragmatic decision doesn't always mean your life is filled with sunshine and lollipops. You might tick off a lot of people before you arrive at your destination, and your tough-minded trespasses are forgiven. However, your difficult decisions are always made with the goal of minimizing loss and maximizing benefits. Next, focus on the present. To a pragmatist, it doesn't make sense to anguish over past mistakes or rest on former accomplishments or pine over the good old days. The present is what matters now, and what matters now is combining theory and practice and then moving forward. Next, use tools that work. Having the right tool at hand is imperative to completing a task successfully. Pragmatic people are all about practicality and functionality. Their mission is to get in, expertly use the right tool, get the job done, then get out. Finally, turn ideas into actions. The pragmatist is concerned with making decisions and taking actions that are useful in practice, not just theory or belief. If it works, that's fine with them. If it doesn't work, then that should tell you something. These 6 strategies should help you appreciate the importance of pragmatism in solving real-life problems. Just keep in mind that most problems involve people and feelings and relationships. If your pragmatism does more harm to people than good, try thinking of a better solution so that this virtue to you doesn't become a vice to others.